Welcome to the second session of R programming. Today, we will discuss about the data types and basic operations in R programming. Today's objectives for the session are we will be seeing a lot about the data types available in R as well as how to input and output values and lot other functionalities in R programming. The first thing we will be seeing in R is objects. Next will be numbers, attributes, entering input and printing outputs, vectors, lists, factors, missing values, data frames, and names. We will see in detail about all these in this session. R basically has 5 atomic classes of objects. R programming is very much different from C programming and C++, but there are some similarities as well. The 5 atomic classes of objects in R programming are characters, numeric, which are real numbers, integers, complex numbers, and logical, which will contain true or false. We can call it as boolean also. The most basic object which is by default in R programming is a vector. A vector can only contain objects of the same class, which means when you define a vector in R programming, either it will be a vector of characters or a vector of numeric real numbers or a vector of integers, or it can be a vector of anything, but all the objects within a vector will belong to the same class. There is one exception to this, which is called as a list. This is also represented as a vector, but it can contain different objects of classes within it. We will see a side-by-side example to this in the following slides. And there is a possibility that we can create empty vectors using the vector function. Now we will see about numbers. Numbers in R are generally treated as numeric objects, that is double precision real numbers, which is similar to the double object in C++ or C. If you want to explicitly specify that it is an integer, you have to specify with the L suffix. Example, entering 1 gives you a numeric object, but if you enter it as an 1L, it will explicitly give you an integer. One of the best things about R programming is that there is a special number here which is denoted by INF, which is short form and it represents infinity. For example, when you divide 1 by 0, the output is infinity in mathematical terms. INF can be used in ordinary calculations. Example, 1 by infinity is 0. These kind of calculations it is possible to do in R programming. And there is also a special number, you can say it as a number, but it actually denotes not a number. It is represented by NaN and which denotes an undefined value, a number which is not defined. For example, 0 by 0. It is neither infinity nor denotes to a number, which is an undefined value and it's denoted by NaN, which can also be thought as a missing value. Next we will see about attributes. As you can see, R objects, not just R objects, in general objects will have attributes. For example, names, dim names. Dim names are nothing but dimension names. And in case of matrices or arrays, dimensions, class, length, and you can define other user defined attributes as well, which you can call as metadata, which is nothing but information about data. Attributes of an object can be used using the attributes function. Now we'll enter into the coding part. The first thing we'll be seeing is entering basic input into the R programming console. So here I've given a small example so that you can view this later on. The arrow symbol followed by the hyphen denotes the assignment operator, which is nothing but if x equal to 1. You are assigning the value 1 to x. The next is the print function which is available in R programming. If you print of x, it will give you 1. I'll show you a short example now. Now the value of 1 is assigned to x. And as you can see, this is the console for R programming. Well, this is a 64-bit console as it is a 64-bit OS. In this console, you have a lot of functionalities available to open, edit, view, and a lot of other functions as well, which you can explore. Now I have assigned the value 1 to x. This is the console where you type in all your inputs or whatever the code you need to give in. Now this is the value 1 is assigned to x. Now to print x, either I can go use the function of print and print explicitly the value of x. As you can see here, this denotes the first object inside the vector x and the number 1. Now we'll continue with the slide. There are other things possible as well. Message hello. Now here, as you can see, hello is assigned to message. So when you want to print x, print message, you can just print it. As I've entered with a capital P, it shows could not find function. It's actually with small. Now as you can see, the message hello has been displayed. Now, our language also has a grammar associated with it, which follows certain semantics and syntax. Here, for example, when you assign double hash to x, it will give you an incomplete expression. The hash character indicates a comment. Anything to the right of the hash, including the hash itself, will be ignored, which is a comment. As in the programming world, a comment is used to describe what exactly the line of code does. Here, the assignment operator after x is followed by hash, which means nothing is assigned to x and it will give you a incomplete expression.